So this is Manchester's town hall, which has been illuminated pink, and I believe it's for Chinese New Year, because I can see the lanterns, the red lanterns and all the trees everywhere, and it looks very nice. So look at it, feast your eyes upon the light shining the pink. Yeah, it's Happy Chinese New Year, and if I know any Mandarin, Gung Hei Fat Choi. Or is that Cantonese? Gung Hei Fat Choi? My brother's wife is from Hong Kong, so I know a few swear words in Chinese. I want to talk to you guys today about bullying, about discrimination, about racism, and about the things which chip away at our compassion for our fellow man. And I can only speak about my own experiences, so I'm going to tell you a few stories about my a few incidents in my childhood, and I'll tell you a bit about an incident that happened just 10 minutes ago that has upset me a bit. You know, it's left me with a bad taste in my mouth, feeling a bit misanthropic. And I don't want to feel like I hate people, but you know, for the last 10 minutes I've been seething, angry, feeling like I actually do hate people. You know, when like it just takes one person to be nasty to you, and then you are literally willing the deaths of billions of people through nuclear war. That's how bad it got. And don't try and say you don't have those dark thoughts. We all do. And it luckily dissipates. And I guess for the people that it doesn't dissipate, that's when you become a Hitler or a Pol Pot or a Mao or a Stalin. You become a, you know, eternal fucking scumbag. You know, whether you're gay or not, it's pretty much built in you. You know, kids know from a very early age whether they're gay or not, and it's genetic. You can't help it. You're gay. It's the same with race. If you're brown, if you're black, if you're white, if you're Chinese, if you're Japanese, if you're Southeast Asian, whatever, that's the way you're born. You have no choice in the matter. If you speak with an English accent, Scottish accent, American accent, whatever accent, again, okay, again, now we're going into slightly more neuroplasticity. Who has the time to work on their accent all the time? Which is why I still have this slightly Americanized twang, because of the American schools I went to in West Africa, the Middle East, the kids I hung up with in the international community. My parents worked in oil, so a lot of American and Canadian kids, a lot of Scottish kids. So when you mix American, Canadian, and Scottish, you get this accent here. And, you know, like, I am jealous of people because, you know, you're always jealous of that which is opposite to what you have in a way, that which you never had. You know, I had a stable family. My parents are still happily married. A beautiful nuclear family, lovely sister, lovely older brother, and parents who always nurtured me and cared for me. And they, you know, we got raised around the world, you know, in all sorts of continents, all the continents except Australia, which I hope to visit one day. And what I'm jealous of is people who were born in one place, they've lived in the same house for 20 years, they have all their friends from childhood, from nursery all around them, they marry some high school sweetheart, they have roots, you know, roots. But then on the flip side, you know, there's always a flip side. I've had the honor, the luck, the joy of being able to experience cultures all around the world. You know, I speak 3 languages, 4 badly. I speak 4 languages badly. And I've seen cultures, you know, from Wahhabi Saudi Arabian cultures. I'll tell you about my arrest in Saudi, hopefully in this video. How long's this video going to be? But I'll tell you about a few things. And like, I've lived all around the world, and you know, there's great education, you know, travel, cosmopolitan upbringing. That is a true education. You learn that everyone is different, but they're all amazing in their own ways, you know. Anyway, have a quick look at this amazing building again for a sec. So, you know, like, I've always been the new kid everywhere I've gone. You know, my parents moved around a lot, chasing that tax-free income, be it in Caribbean, Middle East, Brazil, Scotland, England. So I've been to a lot of new schools, and up until about 11, I was a slim, handsome guy. And then when puberty, the beginnings of puberty started about 12, 13, I got quite fat. And you know when like a kid is like 13 and he's fat, it's that kind of chubby, you know, rolls of flab around your belly. I had man boobs, you know, teenage. 7 o'clock tonight, I had, you know, budding breasts that wouldn't have looked out of place in a 13-year-old girl, you know, kind of. But I wasn't an attractive kid, you know. I was very insecure about my weight. And because of that, I wasn't very cool. The bullying started a bit later, but I was like the opposite of trendy and, you know, cool. And, you know, when you move around, I'll let these ones chime. It'll be nice. Let's have a listen. Seven, ding, ding. Oh, wait, what? I'm sure that was 8, and it says 7. Anyway, we moved to a place called Qatar, which is now like one of the most famous countries in the world. They sponsor everything. Qataris own London now. Don't they own what football team does Qatar own? The Qatar Sovereign Wealth Fund. And again, this is another one of these countries where it's a Bedouin Arab tribe which has become hyper rich, you know, off the scale rich. And so my dad got a job there, you know, with our family, because he was working for a company called QGPC, Qatar General Petroleum Corporation. And someone I went to university with, a Qatari girl, actually worked for QGPC, but that's an entirely different story. She's escaped now. She's escaped the Middle East. She now lives in Edinburgh. But anyway, a different story. And I was living in a place called Al Nasser Gardens in Doha. And being a very chubby child, I would go to the swimming pool wearing a t-shirt. Have you ever seen that? You know, a fat kid goes to the swimming pool or to the beach and keeps his t-shirt on. And I would tell people that, oh, it's for sunburn, you know, because this, you know, 40 degrees sun heat, you know, it's intense. And Qatar is one of those Middle Eastern countries where if you're at school and you see a cloud, you can go, oh, look, a cloud! And people will actually go to the window in the classroom to look at the clouds, because it'll go for like 3 months with no clouds. And anyone that's lived in the Middle East will know this. You can literally have 90 days, 100 days without a single cloud. And that's weird. So anyway, so I used to wear a t-shirt because I was fat, and I wouldn't go in the swimming pool topless like all the other cool kids. But I would still try and chat to the girls, and any pubescent kid, you're interested in girls. You get to 13 years old, you want to start kissing girls, dating girls. And there's a group of English girls, a lot of English people in Qatar, and I can't remember names. Now this is going back 22 years. Wow. So anyway, so there's one girl I really fancied. She's an English girl from somewhere. I can remember what she looks. Can't remember her name, but she was very, very cute. I was, fat, but I was doing my best to court her and date her and try and win her affections. Anyway, one day after school, I noticed no one was at the swimming pool, that we'd all hang out with. So I went swimming without my t-shirt on and just enjoyed the kind of flabbing around, my man boobs flopping everywhere. And it was, I was quite fat. And that was great. Enjoyed myself, swam around, sunbathed, didn't get any burn. And then the next day on the school bus, we used to have this little school minibus that would take us to the Doha College, which is like this British school in Doha for us expat kids. And I was chatting to this girl that I fancied, and she just in front of all the other kids, she's like, "Charlie, I saw you at the swimming pool yesterday," and all the other kids start, giggling. Hee. I was like, yeah, I was there. And she goes, "Charlie, I saw what you look like without your t-shirt on, and you're disgusting." And she said this in front of all the other kids. Life imitates art. I found a quiet spot here. There's no one around me. But because, video blogging like this isn't, it's more common now than it was 5 years ago, but people in their late teens, early 20s still walk past and still do that kind of hyena laughter looking at you like you're a fucking weirdo. And it does sting, you know, especially after the experiences I've had, which I'll tell you about. So anyway, this girl says to me, I saw you without your t-shirt on and you're disgusting. And the whole bus burst into laughter. And I thought that was very, very funny. In a sad way. There's a policeman coming towards me now. I don't know why he's coming towards me. Oh, yeah. Can you please come and appear in my video?
Depends what it's for.
Can I give you a hug on the video? I'm doing a blog about my life in the past.
Why not?
Thank you, you're a good man.
No problem.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
What's your first name, just so I can say?
Jim.
Jim, thank you, Jim. All the best, mate. There you go. So, all hope is not lost. See, you couldn't do that in America, could you? You couldn't just have a random cop walking past and say, can I give you a hug? And they say, yeah. You know, all it takes is one fucking hug, and like the irony that it's from a policeman, but isn't that what the Love Police used to do? So anyway, that was the kind of man boob disgusting incident, which really, really fucked me up for a long time. Really fucked me up. And what was the other one? There was another one that was around the same age. Oh yeah, this one, fucking hell. Anyway, a few months on from that, I was still living in Qatar. And 1993, this was around the time when, you know, that song Jump Around by House of Pain. Jump around, jump up and get down. Anyway, that was all the rage. You know, I wasn't really into music. I was a very, you know, nerdy. I was a nerdy, uncool 13-year-old kid going through puberty, really interested in animals and zoology and, you know, that sort of thing. Nature, science, space, you know, things like that. I used to have all these big space books. And I got invited to a house party from this very popular guy. He was Welsh, can't remember. What was his name? No, can't remember. Again, 22 years ago. Big alpha male guy. He was like, you know, one of the kids that had been held back a year because he was a bit stupid. But that didn't hold back on his popularity because he was big, so all the girls liked him. Anyway, I was, you know, with my parents at home going, what do I wear to this house party? And they're like, well, you know, put your jeans on, put a nice shirt. And I was like, oh, I look uncool. So my dad goes, do you want a baseball cap? So he had one of his shipping baseball caps. Hey.
You alright?
Yeah, all good. Yeah. So, you know, no, it just brings back it's memories of how shit people can be to each other. Like, sorry. Those things which get you as a kid, you repress them for so long, don't you? I don't know if you need to hear the full story. My dad gave me one of his baseball caps from his shipping work. It was like HMS, some ship or whatever, you know, some oil tanker that he was berthing as an oil tanker captain, which was my dad's job. So he had these pretty cool American baseball caps with like various ships from around the world. And I took one of the caps that my dad gave me, and I thought, you know, I'm going to this house party with all these cool kids. So I started with a felt tip pen. I wrote all sorts of, band names and slogans and, like NWA, Ice-T, House of Pain, whatever, like whatever was cool in the early 90s, Nirvana, AC/DC. I wrote these band names on my dad's baseball cap thinking I'll look good. And this goes to show just how innocent, you are sometimes. And I was the opposite of street, street cool, street trendy, whatever. The same thing now, I guess, which is probably why I do this love police thing. And to cut a long story short, I get to the party, and within 5 minutes, the guy, the host, he starts bullying me, and he snatches the hat off my head. He grabs it, and he goes, "What's this? What the fuck's this? Look at this. Charlie's been writing all these band names." And he starts spitting in it, like, really clearing the back of his nose, and spits in it. And he passes it around. Everyone in the room, is about 20 kids there. No adults, don't know where the adults were. And they all spat in the cap. They all spat in the cap, they all took great joy, they're all cackling like hyenas, really fucking loving the abuse, the real... And then this guy, once everyone had spat in it, he came and he fucking put it right on my head, goes like, "Wear that, Charlie, wear that, you fucking twat." And all the fucking spit on my head. And I, ran to the bathroom crying, whatever, cleaned it out, used a towel, tried to get rid of it, and kind of kept myself to myself for the next hour. And it's that kind of sadism against the vulnerable that I see when police kick homeless people out of the city. It's the same energy. So let's fast forward to February the 18th, 2015, half an hour ago. I'm on the bus coming into town. I come into town sometimes at night time because I live in the suburbs, and I come into Manchester because it's great to walk around the big city and see the sights and see, people milling around. I like people, I like looking at people. So I'm on the bus, and it's rush hour, arriving at Manchester Piccadilly station at 6:30, and there's about 30 buses clogging up this like kind of Circus Maximus fucking oval-shaped bus depot thing, bus station. Manchester Piccadilly, if you're from here, you'll be familiar with it. And it's clear that it's going to be about 15 minutes because there's traffic lights, there's pedestrian crossings, there's bus stops. There's about 4 buses for every bus stop, all clogged up. So I come downstairs in a great mood, and there's about 20 people milling around downstairs on the bus. And I was like, "Hey, Mr. Driver, could you please let us off here? There's no traffic, it's safe." And he was like, No, I'm not going to let you off the bus, blah, blah, blah. I said, "Come on, look, I know you can't, you got to follow your orders, but there's no traffic coming, it's safe," and blah, blah, blah. And a few people start smiling, I'm just trying to, just make the mood a bit happier, make a joke. And I cracked a joke saying, "Oh, come on, dude, don't kidnap us, let us off the bus, blah, blah, blah," very light-hearted. And so the bus driver, I think, clicks on that, let's be nice. He goes, "Tell you what I will do." So he pulls the bus over into a bus stop, and then he lets us all off. But as I'm getting off the bus, he goes to me, he goes, "You're not English, are you?" And I was taken aback by the question because everything had been quite, happy until then. And I said, no, I'm Scottish. He goes, "Yeah, I could tell you're not English." I was like, okay. So I get off the bus and I'm waiting there, and then everyone gets off the bus, and then the bus driver says to me, "Oh, see that woman that just got off? She called you a muppet." I was like, "Excuse me?" So I get back on the bus. I said, "Did you just do a kind of type of racial slur against me for not being English?" And he goes, "Oh, no, what it is my dad's Scottish, and I like your accent, and I think that's nice." And I said, why did you relay the message that the woman's calling me a muppet? And for people internationally in England, we called a muppet, so I'd be called a twat. You're a twat, you're an idiot. Muppet. And he goes, oh, well, it wasn't me. I'm not calling you that. You know, it was the woman. I said, well, why did you tell me? And he goes, oh, well, come on, better get off the bus now. And as I'm getting off the bus, he closes the door on me and catches me. And I've phoned first buses, I've already made a complaint. You know, what else can I do? What the fuck else can I, you know? But it really shook me up. And I had to come and talk to you guys. And I am a refugee here in Manchester. You know, I've got my family and beautiful children, but you know when your best friend's a fucking inanimate camera. But you know, there's thousands of you in there listening to me, and so, you know, it's kind of like, maybe I am crazy, maybe, I don't know. But to anyone who's ever been discriminated against or made to feel unwelcome, unhappy, or just made to feel bad for being different, you're not alone. And I'll wrap this up now. It's now 7:15. Thank you for listening, you know.